Yo, 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 yo. What's good, people? It's your boy Jason Gooner. We're back. Late night episode, people. We had to get the content out to you. Of course, Jamaica Reggae Girlz taking on Mexico. Two-match series going to be taking place. First game tomorrow, almost today, but tomorrow in Kansas City, 4:30. In Jamaica, I believe 5:30. And then the second matchup, I think is 8:30 my time, if I'm not mistaken. But not really sure on the times right now. I will check that before we move on. But yes, people, we're here to break down, have the tactical preview show. I have the team them loaded up in the tactical manager. Up full Sylvester within and we're outside tonight. We're gonna do some tactics, talk about the teams, talk about Mexico's team. People, Mexico. This is not the same Mexico we faced the last time we played this team. So I'm gonna try to show you guys the progression, how they have been able to, make such a leap in terms of their FIFA ranking and things of that nature. They have had some big, big, big results, and their football has gone into a really good direction as well. So, yeah, basically it's basically gonna be a tough matchup. I think when you look at our recent opponents, I like where Mexico lies in terms of we saw us face France, a top 10, top 12 team in the world. We saw us face Brazil, obviously the bronze medalist at the last Olympics, top 10 team as well. Then we faced South Africa, little bit different challenge, ranked more similar to us in the world ranking. And then we face Peru, who's a team that's a little bit below us in the world ranking. And we've had a nice mixture of different opponents. And I think Mexico is the team that I think is a good sweet spot for all the opponents we've had in terms of the likes of Brazil and France. And then when you put that up against South Africa and Peru, I think Mexico is a nice, even middle ground between all those teams we've played. So it's a good barometer, I think, for the Reggae Girlz right now in terms of just seeing where they are in their progression. I'm sure the coach would want um, the best test possible. We did see some programming today from Dean Burton talking to Simon, and he echoed the same sentiments. I'm not going to play that today, but basically he was saying each opportunity that they get with the girls, it's just an opportunity to better get across their messaging, try to get them on one accord, so that when they go out there, it's pretty clear what the objectives are, what they're trying to do. But yeah, before I move any further into the video, please do smash the like button. That's the most important thing you can do for this content, for this channel. Please do smash the like button. We are going to try to get the content to you in a timely manner tonight. Of course, what I want to do, as you see in the title, it is the Jamaica Reggae Girlz versus Mexico tactical preview show. We're going to talk about the keys to victory. We're going to talk about the predicted lineups as well. Our style, we have the tactical manager setup, tactical pod, setup, and we have the teams loaded up. So we're going to try to see what we think the coaches will do. Of course, when I say coaches for Jamaica, we're talking about Hubert Busby. For Mexico, we are talking about Pedro Lopez. And as I talk about Pedro Lopez, what I want to do is just show you guys a little bit about this coach, what he has really done. He is a Spanish coach, Pedro Lopez, and Pedro Lopez also is the coach that would be responsible for winning the under-20 Women's World Cup in 2022. Also, the runners-up in 2018, also winning the Women's Euro under-19, also in 2022. So comes from a very good background. Has already picked up major honors with this Mexican team as well. The CAC Games in 2023 and the Pan Am Games in 2023, taking home both of those titles. So, this is a coach that pretty much came up through the ranks in Spain. Was at Real Madrid before getting into the Spain youth setup, and basically, took a group of girls from the U15 level, U16. Once he got to a certain set of girls, he basically stayed with them up to the U20s and was able to be so successful that he pretty much won everything he could win. A lot of those girls in those teams would have gone on to be household names in the women's game, and a lot of them owe some of their development to this coach here. So you have seen something similar with what he has been able to do with this Mexican team and their style. He has been in the job since 2022, so that would have been basically right after the last qualifying cycle. They were able to go and get this manager, and they are really, I think, reaping the rewards of this selection as a manager. That coupled with the growth of their women's league there in Mexico, which some of our players actually do play there as well, so they can speak to the strength of that league and how it's growing. And when you look at some of the players that they've been able to export and some of the clubs that they're exporting them to, I think the Mexican league is really stepping up in terms of quality. So all those things lead to us having a difficult fixture against this opponent. I want to show you guys the current FIFA World Rankings for women. Number 1 is USA, Spain, Germany, England, Japan, moving up 3 spots the other day. This has been March, so this will probably be adjusted after this window again. But we have Sweden, Canada, Brazil in 8, Korea, DPR in 9, Netherlands 10, France out of the top 10 now in 11, Denmark 12, Iceland 13, Italy 14, Norway, Australia dropping down a bit, China, Austria, Korea, and Belgium running out the top 20, with Colombia there in 21st, who knocked us out of the World Cup. Then we scroll a little bit further down and you find Mexico in 29th position. And they have been, steadily climbing through the ranks. When you look at what Mexico has been able to do when it comes down to the women's game and their ascent up the rankings, if you just look at where they have been, this is 2022 when the coach would have taken over, and it's a steady rise up. Got back down to 36, but then it's just been a rise ever since 2023 onwards. 31, 29 is their highest ranking that they currently hold right now. They did get all the way up to 21st at one point. But yeah, they have been on a steady climb and they are now up to 29th. Then if we go back and we go back down the list, not too far down from where we are now in 29th, where Mexico is, you will find Jamaica in 40th position. And this is just a history of us on the women's ranking. The highest rank we have gotten to is 37. So we're currently not too far off that ranking with these 2 games against Mexico. Even though they're friendlies, with Mexico being ranked higher than us, you could see us make a nice push in the rankings if we were to able to get 2 positive results in these 2 fixtures. But yeah, in 2023 August we got up to 37. That was our highest we ever attained, and currently we are at 40th. So good opportunity as far as FIFA ranking points go, to try to get up there. And we have also been steadily climbing. When you look at in 2022 we were at 51st at our worst and up to 42. So that's really been the big push for us, and that would coincide with qualifying for the World Cup again, winning qualifying matches and then attaining that 37 rank in 2023. So I've been hovering around that low 40s. Would love to just crack the 30s and kind of become a staple inside the 30s, and we'll have ample opportunities based on what I see the federation doing in the international windows. We continue to get decent fixtures. So yeah, long may that continue. And yeah, that is a kind of a look at the FIFA rankings and how those could be affected in these friendlies. So yeah, all these games matter people in some way, shape, or form. Let's see. All right, so the next thing I want to do, people, is just take a look at, and remember, people, please do smash the like button, share the content as well. Matter of fact, let me do my job, people. Let me do my job. Let me do my job. Yeah, people, I hope everybody had a decent Friday. Got some, I don't know if anybody saw it, but I was watching the Grand Slam track tonight. I was hoping for a bit better turnout and thing, but at least the fans turned out in a decent enough number. Had the atmosphere at least sounding good. Hopefully, there's more people will turn up tomorrow and Sunday, but I don't know. I don't know how people feel about the whole event. The idea that the athletes will be running two different events. So Gabby Thomas would have run the 200 today. She have to turn around now, and on Sunday she's going to run a 400 against the same competitors who ran the 200 with her. So Paulino, who finished second, has the advantage going into Sunday because she's going into her race now. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how this plays out. The Jamaica crowd got to see Sydney McLaughlin Levrone run, which was big time to be able to see that live. Good time as well for first run of the season. So nice to see the event. The track does look really nice on camera. When you watch it, I mean, I did see some champs, so I've seen it already, but seeing that level of athlete running on it just, stepped it up a bit. And, the production itself of how the track looked and the advertising and everything, the big banner in the middle of the field, all of the production of it was a little bit more professional. They had the big screen out as well. So yeah, it was a different type of atmosphere. It wasn't as much people as champs for sure. But if they can, hopefully the word can get out that, that it's a decent vibes and they have the big screen up. And, my hope is on the weekend they get slightly better numbers for sure. If not slightly, a lot more. Don't know if anybody saw that or watched any of that, but yeah, I was taking in some of it earlier. It was pretty good, Hearing mixed reviews about the format, but just something that I have to watch and see how it play out. And could be interesting. You never know. It could be some foolishness, but I think I have to see how it work out. But anyway, people, back to the matters at hand. All right, so we have the roster for the Mexico women's national team, and they put up their team here with the clubs. I always like when they put out their clubs as well. That's nice. But we have Stephanie Barreras. She is typically the number one keeper. She keeps for Pachuca. Blanca Felix, she is a new addition to the team. More recently, she did get a start in the last competition they played, which was the Pinatar Cup, which was in the last window. They played 3 matches in that cup. We will be, referencing those games a bit when we talk about the team as well. Then Celeste Espino is a new call-up from Guadalajara as well. Interesting that there are 2 keepers from the same club in the national team. That's quite interesting, actually. Defenders now, we have Karen Luna. She is a right back. She plays for Club America. Anika Rodriguez, Tigres. Ania Mejia from Juarez. Nicolette Hernandez. She is a left-footed player, left back typically. She's from Club America as well. Carol Bernal from Monterrey or Rayadas. Karina Rodriguez, Club America. Reina Reyes, one of the big sales that they have made to the Portland Thorns in NWSL. She is there as well. Reina Reyes, one of the key players in the team. Then we have Natalia Collin from Tigres as well in that defensive setup. Then into midfield now we have Nicole Perez, Monterrey, Rebecca Bernal from Washington Spirit. She's probably, I would say, the heart and soul of this team, the base at the base of the midfield. At times, and we'll talk about this later in the tactical portion of this show, I think Rebecca Bernal is a crucial piece to pretty much everything that they do in the defensive third to the middle third. So I think, trying to neutralize what she brings to the table will go a long way in the Reggae Girlz having success in my eyes. But we will break that down later in the show, so keep in mind that name, Rebecca Bernal, people. Diana Garcia from Monterrey, Carla Nieto, all action midfielder from Pachuca, Alexia Delgado, midfield general, I guess you could say, plays for Tigres, and Alice Soto, the creative maestro from Monterrey. Then up front now we have Scarlett Camberos from Club America, Jasmine Casares from Juarez, Christina Brackenroad from Monterrey, Montserrat Saldivar from Club America, Mayra Delgadillo, the winger from Pachuca, and the big baller herself, Jacqueline Ovalle from Tigres. Jacqueline Ovalle, if you have been following this Mexican team, you should know that name. Where's number 11 for Mexico? Very, very, very difficult player to contain. I think that's another one that we'll have to make sure we pay close attention to. So that is the Mexican roster, people. I know most of those names. If you don't follow the women's game, you'll be like, who are these people? But I can assure you, a lot of these girls are very good players. A lot of them have been in the Mexico national team system, basically with this coach since he's been there. So, Mexico already as a team and a nation, I think, have a footballing identity. And I think what this coach has been able to do is, what's a way I can put this? It's almost like he has realized in CONCACAF, you have to have another element to it to really be successful against the Mexicos and against the Canadas and the USAs, in terms of putting a little more CONCACAF in the ball game is what I call it, just a little more direct style physicality. Maybe instead of getting to point B with 3, 4, 5, 6 passes, like sometimes there's a Mexican, way of life. I think they have done a good job of realizing that in this region, especially, and in the women's game, you do have to, try to have that as a route to success as well. It can't just be about the pretty stuff. I think even if you look at Spain's national team on the women's side, while the patterns are clear there, the ability to break press is all there. I do think that they even have adopted a bit more of a direct style, especially when you get into the final third. So that's something that I think Pedro Lopez has brought over. It's something that you'll notice if you watched our games against them in the past. I think that's the great nullifier for us, where we just sometimes out muscle them in terms of just physicality. They can't get into their patterns well enough because we're too sharp getting in on them, closing down space, or, the minute that they don't connect a pass right to feet and they have to run after the ball, we're going to win that 50-50 duel or challenge. I think that this version of this Mexico team is a much more equipped. Maybe that's due to reps, maybe that's due to, I don't know what it's due to, but when you see them playing the likes of a USA and matching them physically on the pitch in terms of the runs and challenging for 50-50 duels and things of this nature, then it's almost like a cheat code for these girls, because they already had the technical side there. They just needed that. So I think kudos to their federation for what to me looks like somewhat of a transformation in terms of the difference of how they're looking now compared to one time. So yeah, this is good. This is a good team, people. So bless up Charles Brahma. Yeah, man, the stadium looks better on camera. Yeah. The track is quite it looks good. It looks good just from that shot up high when you look down at the track with the athletes running on it and stuff. It looks good. The rest of the stadium obviously could use what it could use, a little love, a little TLC, but yeah, the track does look nice. Bless up Jamrock Wagwan. How strong is the Reggae Girl squad? So yes, it is actually time, Jamrock. I'm glad you segue right into the Reggae Girl squad now, because I've talked a little bit about the Mexican team, try to at least tell you about the players that to me will be some keys. But now let's look over to the Jamaica Reggae Girl side of things. And yes, Charles Brahma, hopefully the JFF is taking notes and how to make something look and appear a certain way. The production has to be up, you know. So yeah, let's get the Reggae Girlz now. People, make sure you are smashing up that like button. We do have the Reggae Girlz playing tomorrow, people. Come on, I mean, we can't, the Reggae Boys, we know we have a million things we could talk about the Reggae Boys every single day, but it's Reggae Girlz window now, man. People, them supposed to there try figure out what them feel look for tomorrow. I wonder if we're not even gonna watch the darn games, man. So I think these times are, so yeah, 4:30 tomorrow, which I believe is 5:30 for me. I would think that they're advertising in the Jamaica time still. Jaylia or Jaylee. How you pronounce it? I don't want to butcher your name, Miss McPherson. Let me know if it's Jaylee or Jaylia. How anybody know how to say her name? Bless up Tuffy Rudy, Wagwan. But they are trying to give some time to the girls, We have some analytical and some scouting that we did for the Mexico team. So we want to talk about the Reggae Girlz, Shamar Nicholson on the bench. Never even check when Shamara play. Tonight he might play. But if him up on my TV. Oh, it not start yet. Soon start now. Man, them coach and I start, man. All right. So let's get the Reggae Girlz going on the screen now. All right. So this is the times for the game. 4:30. So that's gonna be 5:30 for me, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Make sure what time it's saying in my region. Yeah, 5:30 for me tomorrow. All right, so should be back by then. I'll do a post match. All right, so this is the Reggae Girlz squad that was named. And we did have some updates, but I'm just going to show you the original squad as it was when it came out. Sydney Schneider, Leah Brooks, Rebecca Spencer. So I know those keepers. Sydney just made a move to the USL Championship for the women. So she's, back into a team that I think she'll be able to get some valuable playing time and reps. Leah Brooks back again after her bow into action against South Africa first, and then also getting a start against Peru. Some would say maybe a bit mixed in her performance, but definitely one that we can keep trying to develop, as she clearly is gaining a lot of experience working with the likes of Rebecca Spencer, who is the third keeper on this list here. More than likely will be the starter. Look, we don't want to shed too much light on it, but Becky, our prayers are with you. We know you had a rough transit over to the team. These things can happen sometime, and I just hope that, mentally you're in the right frame of mind to perform at your peak levels tomorrow, because, anytime we get a positive result, you're a big part of that. So hopefully everything is all good with you, Becky, in the mentals, because I know you'll be up for the challenge otherwise. So good luck on everything tomorrow, Becky. But yeah, we see you. We see you out there. We know sometimes it's rough, but just know, say, yeah, you're there for the fight, and we're happy to say you reach. All right, so defenders, we have Alison Swaby and Chantel Swaby. Of course, the Swaby sisters been staples in the squad. They are back. Naya Cardoza, I think of all the players that kind of were in that pool of players that would have gotten a chance when, the whole issues between the JFF and the girls were happening, I think Naya is the one that, has caught the eye of this coach, and we have seen him consistently bring her into teams. So Naya looks like she's working her way into the thoughts of Hubert Busby in terms of what he wants in his defensive squad moving forward. Now, a big debut is made here, and Lee McPherson, if you follow the U20 team, the Jewel of the Caribbean tournament, you'd have seen her playing centre back and captain in the Jamaica team. I'm very interested to see how her level of play translates against this level of competition. Um, the coach has shown as well that he will give chances, even if it's not a start, he'll get some time. So I have all confidence that she will get a chance. So we'll be able to see how her level translates to this type of level. I'll be very, very interested to see that. And of course, Kanya Plummer, she makes the return. Did miss, I think she was there for the South Africa window, but then missed the last Peru window. So good to see her back in the team. Let's see if some more game time and reps over there have suited her well in her return to the national team. Then we're moving to the midfielders. Adama Laken, she is over there in Scotland, tearing it up for Hearts, doing her thing. Drew Spence is one of the absentees. She did pull out. The JFF website cited personal reasons for Drew's absence from this camp, but Drew, we hope that whatever you're going through is all good. And there is no doubt that when you are available, you will return. You have always made yourself available for these windows. And yes, we do appreciate that. And hope all is good. So Drew Spence did pull out. Denisha Blackwood is there as well. She's been on a good vein of form with her club Cruz Azul in the Liga MX and would know a lot of these players from facing them, and they would know of her threat as well. I'm interested to see if she continues in a more advanced role or how she's deployed in this window. Everybody, if you follow me and you follow how I follow the Reggae Girlz, you know my thoughts on it. I see Denisha Blackwood as a wing back, at the most as a defender in a back five or a back three type of system, left midfield, left wing. That is where I think she can do the most damage as a player. And the folks who have been coaching her for the past few seasons tend to agree with my take on that. Vian Sampson, she makes her return. She's in Japan still. Last couple times, I think she was in the South Africa but didn't make the Peru. I think at that time it was just getting started out her season, so maybe not the best time for her to leave and come and represent. But now back in the groove in her club, she's back in the setup. Also with her interesting position choices, she can play in the centre back line, but with the Swaby sisters, they're occupying that. The likes of Cardoza, where does Vian Sampson really fit in? We're going to find out some more about those answers in this window. Jade Bailey is back again. Fulcrum of the midfield. Would like to see her be able to unlock more of a number 8 mentality, but she seems to really just want to sit in front of that back line and dictate play. And I'm just the likes of Vian and her, I think would be maybe a bit much as a double. But again, if Jade can unlock a bit more of a box-to-box game, then I think it could work based on the skill set as they are having. Tiffany Cameron is there as a forward, but ever versatile. I think when you look at her and Cameron Simmons here on this list, they would have to go under the file of right back slash, and I know a lot of people who are Cameron Simmons fans don't like to hear that, but again, another top coach, FSU's coach, seems to think she can play there the majority of the last part of last season. And, will be interesting actually this year to see where she's actually playing for FSU. I'll be tracking that as well to see if she does move back into more of an attacking role or the coach sees her there long term. Paige Bailey Gale is back in the squad, did miss a camp or two, but now she is called back up for this one. Jodie Brown as well. Over in Benfica, she is back. Shania Hales is another one that had to pull out of the squad, and I will get you the replacements momentarily. Shania Hales could not make it, did pull out due to injury. Sad one as well because she has been banging in some goals in the championship. I believe she's like second in the goal scoring chart in the championship currently. Rihanna Blades, she is back again. Scored her first goal for Jamaica in the last window. I believe it was against Peru. And she is back to get some more caps and reps with the Reggae Girlz team. Looks to be an exciting player off the flank. Looks like she has some technical ability to play a little more central as well. So, we'll see how she's deployed. Again, the absence of Drew Spence, I think, opens up some opportunities in that midfield. So we'll see how Hubert Busby plans to fill those. Kayla McKenna, veteran striker, she is back again to do the deed up front. Then we have Trudy Carter back in the fray. She also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she is in Spain playing. But yeah, she's back now amongst the goals at her club and is back for another look-in under the new coach. So good to see Trudy back in the mix. Chanel Buckley looks to be, gaining the coach's trust by the window. He has called for her again to get some more experience, maybe some game time as well, but we shall see how that goes. Pretty stacked in the forward area, but again, we have some players in this list that we know can play in different positions. So first thoughts on the squad, people looked at the defenders and say, oh, it's a little light in the defense. When I really analyze it, Alison Swaby, Chantel Swaby, both centre backs who can play right back if need be. We have Kanya Plummer in the squad, who's typically a centre back. I've seen the coach go to a back three with Kanya a little wider, so maybe he sees her that she could play there as well. Cardoza is a centre back typically, but Busby has used her quite a bit on the right and the left back area. So we'll see where he puts her this go around. Jelia, I think technically she could play right back if you needed her to, but I know her position is centre back, so it's going to be interesting to see, where he deploys her. And then you have the likes of Cameron Simmons, Tiffany Cameron, and even a Vian Sampson who can play centre back as well. So when you look at the different players, the defense isn't as light as it would seem, especially if he plans to put the forwards or one of the Tiffany Cameron Simmons to use them as a right back, which I think, based on the squad, he's going to have to at some point. And then when you look into the midfield now, the problem with moving Vian into the defense, it makes that defensive midfield area a little lighter. I think currently you see Sampson, you see Bailey, you would think that's the two center defensive midfielders there. Then you have Blackwood, kind of more of a wide midfielder. Alama Lakin can play wide, also play a little more central. We've seen the coach, when she comes on, typically putting her behind the striker in his system. So maybe that's where he sees Sade in his team, in his setup. I know she can play wide forward as well, so that's an option. But maybe, he likes her a little more central. And since I've gone through pretty much everybody in the squad somewhat, let me just show you guys what the update was with the team. So yeah, you see Kiki Van Zanten there. So 2 players dropped out. That was Drew Spence and Shania Hales, as I said before, one due to injury, one due to personal reasons. And we had 3 players come in. So Kiki Van Zanten from the Houston Dash in NWSL, big sister of Mimi Van Zanten, who, if you listen to the press conference the other day, I did ask about Mimi and her situation. As we know, she was called into the U23 camp for the US, took that call up, and obviously, for those reasons, was not able to be called by us in this window. And there you have it. Same window, no Mimi. Mr. Busby goes for Kiki at the first opportunity after people drop out of the squad. Rishaya Walker is also back. She's a forward, can play wide as well. We saw her in the Peru series as well. Another one that basically got a look in that Women's Gold Cup qualifying cycle, where we didn't have some of the players that were at the World Cup available to represent us. So she's another one that was able to be found through those channels. I think she's still collegiately playing, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't want to get that wrong, but I feel like she still is playing in college. And then Dominique Bonflasa, we'll have to look up where she's at currently. But this is a girl who has represented us at the World Cup before. I believe she may have, left the team for a while for probably family reasons. We see another, I don't know if she had a hyphenated name before, so maybe she left the game, started a family, things of that nature. In the women's game, that is something that does happen. So that could be the case why we haven't seen her in a while. But I'm going to have to just do my research on the fly on her, because I did not really look up anything prior to starting this video, so we can learn together on what she's been up to. And maybe I have very knowledgeable people that watch these programs, so maybe somebody in the comment section is telling me about her right now. So let's see what's going on in the comment section. Yes, people, please do smash that like button. So Jamrock, I basically tried to answer that question for you just now. Read the squad. Shamar on the bench. Yes, I saw that. Yeah, we're blessed up, Tuffy Rudy. All right, so Real Baller said, Jason, what happened to the young Salai Washington girl? Did she quit Jamaica as well? No. Well, she got an injury at the end of the FSU season. And basically, I think she did a surgical procedure of which she's trying to come back from. So yeah, I don't think that she would be like physically ready to represent currently, but as far as I know, her heart is still with Jamaica. I wouldn't have any reason to think otherwise, you know. But yeah, as Hubert Busby did mention when I asked the question, you know, these players are young, and you know, they'll be. It's always a constant. You have to keep reassuring them that yes, this is home. This is where you need to be. I know people don't like to hear those things, but it is the way of international football, and the faster we realize that that is the way, I think the better off we'll be. Earn and deserve the love and support. Yep. All right, so I'm gonna answer that question there. The team to me could be a little stronger. You know, some due to just, you know, whether it's passport issue or, you know, bad luck timing with some injuries. Obviously the glaring omission is Bunny. So it's been a few windows now we haven't been able to see her due to you know, her having some injury concerns and stuff. And yeah, it's not something that we'd want to see continuously happening. But I think, you know, we'll have to just look at it at this point as opportunity. You know, who is going to really step up? Does anyone think that Kayla has really stepped up to the point where we can say, okay, if Bunny does have an issue, we know that we're good up there as well. You know, some might say, yeah, she's done her job. She scored a few goals. She has set goals. She has been on the doorstep of finishing chances. But for some, that might not have been enough, you know. So I think we'll get another opportunity now to see, you know, who steps up in Bunny's absence, you know. Good to see Paige in the team again. Yep, Paige Bailey Gale is back. She's moved to Germany now, playing, and she's getting good game time at her club. So yeah, she's back into the mix. Then is a winger through and through. I agree totally. Yeah, Espanol, thank you. And I couldn't remember the club. I know it wasn't where she was before in that league, but I know she's still there. Yeah, she's at Espanol. I remember seeing the clip when she scored the other day. And I had one. You deserve some ratings for how you keep up with the girls' teams and the girls' players. If people don't know, I had one. Up on it, people. Up on it, up on it. The addition of Jelia is terrific. The player appears to have a lot of composure. Yeah, Charles, I'm impressed with her as well. Composed player, you know, just ability to defend as well. I think sometimes that get lost sometimes when analyzing defenders, but yeah, can they actually defend? You know, do they stop their opponent? And that's something that you have to give her a check mark for. And you know, it's not her personality because she seems like the nicest person ever. But when she's playing, she plays rough, and that's why I say like her level, at least what I saw her level looking like in the U20. I'm just curious to see what it looks like at the full international level because I think she has the aggression required. You know, I don't think that's going to be what would hold her back. Let's see how our technicality holds up with needing to be a faster reaction time and having to make quicker decisions. That's what I really want to focus on with her because I think physically and aggression, she'll fit in. She'll be fine, I think. Yeah, man, great to see Kiki back. Okay, so she always was born Flassa. Okay. Okay, she's in Iceland. Okay, nice. I asked about Soleil earlier. What's up with that player disappearing? No, man, she don't disappear, man. She don't disappear. Taylor Hines, yeah, Taylor Hines. It's another paperwork type of thing going on with that. I mean, it's not much you can do, real baller. You just have to go through the process, and clearly the process not done. Which is kind of sad. My hope is that no kind of foolishness don't go on. We haven't really seen it with our players as much on the women's side in terms of like you know, feeling like we're gonna get a player, and well, we've seen it a bit on the men's side too, to be honest. But I just feel like it's a tough one. It's a tough one, real baller, because with the you could see her quality. Like obviously, we played a team that were up against the 8 ball against France, but I'm telling you, man, she's a good player. And Liverpool, she has been in a Liverpool team that has been struggling in the league, and you can see every year they improve a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And she's been a solid part of that whole journey. So, captain of the club, you can see she's a leader on the pitch. Yeah, she's a leader on the pitch. Yeah, man, Gunners boss. Late live of keeping up because um man's day full. Even though you see me at daytime in the comment section, them man's at the beer work. And then when the work start now, family time, sort out everything with that. And then if time is left, YouTube the thing there. But the girls them have them match tomorrow Gunners boss, and say the people I'm gonna want them actual there's a hunger to actually break down the football, and that we bring over here to Gunners boss. I we entertain at the same time, drop 2 joke and thing. We're not afraid of that neither. They need to put Kiki up front. I think coach should convert to forward. Wow, that's interesting because I always thought she did her best damage as a winger. But I think somebody was telling me the other day, and it's true, she's listed by Houston Dash as a midfielder. But I think she's an attacking player. That's what I would call it. I like her getting on to the end of things, but I think doing it from wide where maybe it's not so physical, I think it's better for her. That's the only reason why I would say that. Taylor didn't look pleased when she featured for us. I hope she's still interested. I definitely want to see her with the Swabies. I hope we get to. Yeah, look, it was a tough match. I had one. I mean, very tough. And I would think that what was most frustrating about it was just not being able to really express herself as a player on the day because she just defended for the entire game. But my hope is I had one that this has more to do with what he said it had to do with, which because I asked about the player the first time she wasn't there, and he said, look, some of these windows, the stipulations for a player to play aren't as relaxed. So if you don't have I think what it goes is you can have a citizenship alone for some games, but you need citizenship and passport for some. So that was how it was described to me. For that France game, they relaxed it so that players with citizenship alone, the likes of Thomas from Ipswich, Hines from Liverpool, etc., they were able to represent on that day. And that's why we haven't seen them back in the lineup against the likes of Brazil, the likes of Peru, the likes of South Africa, because those would have been different stipulations for those games, right? So that's how it was explained to me. So nobody told me that, but based on the answer to the question, I would like to think that's how it worked out, why we were able to see Taylor Hines play for us even once already. So yeah, I mean, I had one. I did see some frustration in the demeanor. I'm not gonna lie, I did peep that as well. But my hope is that that's not why we're not seeing her, and it's actually really and truly paperwork reasons, and not having second doubts thing. South Carolina and UConn will be in the Women's National Championship. I love both teams and confused about who to pick. Yeah, actually have that game on right now. I mean, it's not much of a game though. UCLA just getting drugged. But I'm still vexed at Juju injured star. Juju, they want to see Juju playing at the tournament and reach Final Four, Cause I think this would have been the Juju versus UConn game now. So imagine that game here with Juju instead of them people that lose by 50 points. Would have way better. We know where it goes, Jason. Granny always misspell them own name. Unfortunately, most of the elders were illiterate. Yo, real bad. The sad thing is, me not think we'll get much better today because me not lie still. Of late, all right. My for be fair. It's been a while since I see a JFF squad come out and I see an actual like spelling error or something like that. And that's something where it was commonplace for any post in the past. But we have seen a marked improvement with the proofreading of these documents because I'm just seeing way less mistakes. And one thing I would ask, if possible, I don't know if it would change how the graphic would have to look or whatever the case is, but can you guys include the squads or the clubs or the players where they play? Like that would be such a nice touch. I mean, if you don't have to go the extra part of putting what country the place is and all that, just put the name of the club and let the people them do their own research. But I just think it add to it add to it to me. She's quality. Yeah, if you're talking Taylor Hines, for sure. Sarah Strong is one of the most dynamic rookie female basketball player. Paige and Easy are phenomenal. Juju is a sad episode. Yeah, bro, Juju's sad. Brother, say, true story. You see the night when Juju was about to play, I do my show early for done that day there. So I could have watched the game and the first couple play, I see her go down the court and go down with the injury star. I'm gonna say, yo, I'm my fault, because I hadn't watched Juju play live like all season. I'm a sister, the game was coming on late the night. I'm say, all right, I'm gonna do my show earlier, just so I can watch the Juju play. And the girl go mash up her knee, star. Yeah, man, me feel like personally is me jinx the thing. Kiki likes to shoot. She's unrestricted and threatening. I can see her causing issues. Plus, she loves to run. She runs from attack to defense routinely. Yeah, that's why I don't mind her in the wide area because remember, Jamaica have a tendency on both the men and women side to leave them fullbacks dying 2v1s. So if you have a player that don't mind running up and down and have that ability to play a final ball, drive towards goal and shoot towards goal. I like her in our system, the way we need a player on the wing to really be doing that work. I want her wide this. But as I said, the more because she's still young, the more she grow and get stronger just naturally, I could see her converting there. But I would say right now at this stage, youthful exuberance, I would say wing. And if she now play wing, attacking mid. Yeah. All right, so this is the Jamaica lineup. So people, are you ready for the tactical board? Before we get to the tactical board, please do smash the like button, people. We have quite a bit of you in the building now, so glad to say people them start to show the Reggae Girlz some love and tune in because we're going to get down into the nitty-gritty now and start to talk about this game, or these games, I should say. So on the Mexico women's side now. So what I want to do, they have a nice little feature here where I can actually put them on the screen. But first, let me use my tactical pad because I spend so much time I work on this thing. Might as well use it in the program, people. So bless up, Martin. What go on, brother? Yeah, man. Always a big up the channel and always forward with some proper takes, well thought out. People, you might not agree with him, but the man take him time and try formulate him opinion them and speak him mind. And one thing you can't say him not clear with what he must say. So we have to respect that. People need to have them opinion. Anyway, we have the Mexico team, we have the Jamaica team. So let's look at the Jamaica team. We have the players loaded up in the system. So let's try to pick an 11, my people. Let's try to pick an 11 based on the players that we have. let's try to pick a starting 11. Do you guys want to take part in this starting 11 picking, or you want me to just pick the damn team? Let me know. Because I feel like we have some people here that can contribute to this conversation. I had one for sure. You know, Martin, you follow enough of the Reggae Girlz to say which players you would want in the team. Charles, Brahma, DJ, Gigs, Tuffy, Rudy, yeah, man, Jamrock. A whole heap of knowledgeable people in that building, man. All right, so look, in goal, you know, we have three choices. In goal, we have three choices. Let me just organize this by position. All right, so there are your three choices for goalkeeper, people. Snyder, Spencer, and Leah Brooks. I think we can all agree the goalkeeper will be, bless up Mr. Dre. I had one. I know. So you and my father would probably be the two people voting for Sydney. You know, I would have to agree with Martin on this one. I'm still saying Becky, based on what I saw from her, especially in the France and Brazil games when she was under some serious pressure. You know, I know there's the wow, Leon just ripping apart Argentina, and it's 2-0 to Canada. What a play by Leon, man. Yo, the girl who scored say amazing to Leon just now. But I true she attack. Leon just chopped the girl about 7 times. Yo, what's that man? Chop, salad. Cross on the ground. What a save. Rebound. Yeah, Canada, Argentina, 2-0 Canada. People saw me doing no watch football, you know, man. Jeez and peas, man. I watch like a women's college basketball, like a tracks, but back to the football. I had once said since playing Becky's on benches. Hey, that's true. That's a fact. That's a fact. But levels to this. I'm gonna have to beat veto. Well, I don't have to veto. See the vote them are coming. Martin said Becky, Geek said Becky. I had one. Come on, somebody show some support with I had one. She had the only one fighting for Sydney. I mean, what's your rebuttal, people, to I had one argument? I had one say Becky's on benches, you know. I had one. Sorry, you know, but I think Becky have to do it. Hold on, why Becky name now? Sure, what go on? Oh, that's why. All right, so Becky, boom. So it's a tough one, you know, people, because all right, here why I said this now. When we faced who was it? France. The coach, I mean, what did he play that day? A 4-5-1? Just double check something, people. Because I want to think it's gonna be because the coach has deployed some different formations in different situations, you know. So he has proven to be somebody that's unafraid to, you know, try to come up with a system that might work on the day. You know, in that France match, it was really a situation where, you know, Samson was kind of forming a back five with Swaby and Allison, with the two Swabies, Cameron right wing back and Taylor Hines left wing back. You know, it says 4-2-3-1, but the way it was looking on the pitch, Samson was basically playing centre back. Then when you look at the Brazil games, and I'm using these as a reference because Um, these are teams that I think on paper would have been stronger opponents than the next two opponents we had. And he went with the 3-4-3 system in those two games. So a variation of a back five-ish type of system against the quote-unquote better opponents. And then against Peru, against South Africa, it was more of a 4-2-4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 type of system that he deployed. But one thing that I think is noticeable when you look at like how we tried to play in the games, the more recent games when Jamaica would have been, maybe more of a favorite. It definitely was a much more progressive style, more front foot. I wouldn't say like an all-out press, but at least trying to engage them in their half more than what we saw against the likes of Brazil and France, which is to be expected. I mean, the opponent is really good. I think some people were a bit upset we weren't able to do a bit more in those games, but I think it was really tough for him to come in and those be the first set of opponents. Brazil first, then France. It was kind of crazy. So good that they were able to try to implement these tactics against teams that maybe they would at least have the confidence to try to implement these tactics against. And like I said, I think the trajectory of who we've played is good going into this Mexico game. We've been challenged. We've had other teams where, I would say in the South Africa games, we were more challenged than the Peru games, I would say, even though Peru still made us have to apply ourselves. The South African threat was always a little more, even though some would say Peru might have been a bit more organized than South Africa tactically. I just think Peru, the mismatch in physicality just proved too much for them, even though that second game for both of those series, Jamaica only won 3-2. But I'm kind of torn on this because I really feel like with the system of players that we have and some of the absences, it might be better for some of these players' skill sets to play with a three-back. Because just look at it. We have the Swaby sisters and Plummer, right? I've seen where the coach plays Chantel on a wide area, like fullback. Haven't seen it as much under this manager, but Lauren Donaldson used to love to do it, right? I don't think that that's really the move with Chantel. Like, to me, she looks the most comfortable at centre back out of anywhere she played. So I wouldn't really move her out of there. So yeah. But they don't know Becky's not playing. That's possible. Becky will not bench from she can play. Yeah. I think Martin is right, man. She ain't gonna bench. Swaby's easily, then Plummer. Yeah, so that's the thing. I had one. Would you play the three system? Because look, I'm kind of leaning more towards this, and I want Allison have the most actually. Yeah, I want Allison in the center. Be the organizer. So it'll be something like this. And then for me, this is where it get tricky now because who the hell you gonna put? It's tough, Okay, if you go with the back three, what do you do with the wing backs? Do you go with like Blackwood as a wing back? Because do you really want to give her that responsibility of defending? All right, you know what? I don't think I'm going to go with the back five. So I feel like I'm going to go with the sisters. I'll go with the sisters. No, this is the weird one now. So no Siobhan Wilson, who had been playing left back under the coach. I am not putting Blackwood at left back. Banflaza She used to play fullback back when she used to play. Out of 10 for the Reggae Girl squad that's picked, probably like a 7, 6.5, maybe 6. And it's not really all on the coach. I just think they had some bad injury situations going on, and can't get certain players over the line that I think we really need right now. I mean, it hurts not to have Wilson in the setup because she looked like she's pretty good at that left back area. Just needed to get to full fitness, I think, for her, which she's trying to get to in her club career, but couldn't make this trip this time. I don't like Blackwood in back up front for she. Have to agree there. Yeah, 2 Swabies at CD. Yeah, the women's tournament, your favorite win tournament. I mean, I look at the midfield, and maybe there might have been a place for somebody like Izzy. She's back playing now. She's over in Ireland, I think. Asha is in Liga MX, but her team really struggling. She's the captain over there though, so that's a good thing for her and her career and everything. But I just feel like she never really grabbed her opportunity the last time we saw her. But was it fair to her to really not be able to play with like these other players again? I don't know, But those are two that kind of jump out to me because I do think that the midfield could be a bit stronger. I mean, Primus been out for a few windows now, which typically most coaches at Jamaica put her in the team. She's not around. I think Shania Hales dropping out late was big. I think she would have definitely added to this team. Yeah, so there's definitely some other people that could have been in this team for sure. But the ones that jump out to me probably Groves and what's the other midfielder I just said? Izzy Groves and but I don't think I would. Asha just didn't impress me. Didn't impress me. Yeah, Izzy. Izzy is the one that I look at it and I say, maybe. I mean, I shouldn't even say her name because I know that it wasn't on us to not have her in the team or whatever. But Mimi's a big miss for me, like based on what I saw in the last window and in the games previous. Yeah, Izzy have a bite about her in the midfield with the technical too. I like big up Germany, big up. Say we never really did have no calling or nothing tonight, So I go through the tactics and thing and yeah man, but just go and participate same way in the comment section, Jeremy. Just drop a like on the video, and name something there and then drop your comments and obviously read them out and we'll have the discussion that way, But we don't really have no link for the show tonight or anything. Alright, so Swaby Sisters, I think we all agree on the back line for the Swaby Sisters. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky, right? Because we looked at the list, 5 named defenders, but we have other players in the squad, versatile, can play on the back line, the likes of Samson. Band, as I said, she, in previous Reggae Girlz teams, I remember her being a fullback, if I'm not mistaken. I think she was playing right back, I believe. Yeah, so she's over in, is that Iceland or Finland? Yeah, that's Iceland. She also was at Nice for a slight time last year, I think. Or is this now? So this is showing that she hasn't played any football this year though, which is not a good sign. And it could be that I'm just not looking in the right place. So let me not speak too soon. Okay, so the issue is the site I'm looking at, they don't have the games where she is now registered. Or do they? Let's see. All matches. All right, I tried some. No, I said Shania Hills is a big miss. She pulled out due to an injury. Cause she been on fire. You know, she was out of the team in Newcastle for a little bit. Came back and pretty much started scoring right off injury again. I think scored as early as about a week before the window. But yeah, she's just not fully up to the 100, I think, to really travel and participate in this window. So she pulled out. I had to be replaced. I don't want to be a party pooper, but Mexico is a different team now. It will be hard for the girls in this game. Well, Germany, yeah, the first maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes or so I spent talking about Mexico, and we're about to put their team on the pitch in just a moment too. So yeah, man, don't think that was not a big part of this show so far. Talking about Mexico and where they have come from in the FIFA rankings compared to when we beat them in the qualifying series last time, what they have done since then, the coach they have hired. So yeah, man, Germany, you know, I've been trying to educate the masses who don't know. Bench down, Kiki. Okay. What did you say about Ailes? Okay, I just talked about that. Bless up, Chile. What go on, bro? There, you know. Premier League early, I'm on in my side of playing. I got up on the road. I done friend up my wife this evening and said, listen, baby. So when we ride go Julie came, Arsenal are playing up, baby. So yeah, can just sit down in the passenger and go and watch that, please. She said, of course, babes. You know, so if I know for deal with them, you know. All right, this Mexico team beat the US team with Alex Morgan and Redman in the US. The game was 2-0. Mexico hit the post twice. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was one of the games that I watched when I was doing my scouting because I wanted to see them play in the US. And then I went and found them playing. Which game did I watch them play? I wanted to see them play in Canada. So I saw the game when they lost 2-0 in the cup that they just played in. I think it was March. No, couldn't have been March. Was it March that they just played? Was it March we played Peru? Or when was that? Yeah, man. Mexico coach is the U20 Spain coach from when they did win the U20 in 2022. As soon as the tournament they done, and as soon as Mexico never met the World Cup in a 23, they might hire him. So Mexico now ramp Martin. Let me tell you. Drinks water down, star. Jamrock dead with laugh. What am I say? All right, so what's your name now? Ray back. So this season, the season not start back yet. So this season not start till after this window done. So she played last season. This season would have ended September 7. So yeah, tell me, say. Wow. No team sheet nowhere. I'm me see if I can find anything. You know, I need to start a women's football website. I can just put everything about every baller. She made 7 appearances for a new club last season, and this league don't start back up till April. So yeah, that's interesting, you know. She ain't really played no football lately. I mean, based on what I'm finding on her league that she plays in, it is it's been done since September and it don't start back up until April. So quite an interesting call there. Some familiarity, of course. You know, Busby would have been a part of the coaching staff for some of those teams that she would have been on. She born 96, so she's, you know, still a good age, just 28. So she was very young. Back in those days would have been, you know, just finishing up with the Washington Huskies, had a really good career there. You know, has 17 caps for Jamaica, 2 goals, so definitely somebody that is in the mix. You know, she is a right back by trade, so hey, she walked back in the team, people. I don't know. She ain't been playing no football, but based on who we have in the team, yeah, it's sad, man. They make you run through hoops for try to find everything, man. Cause certain site only follow certain league, and this site only have this league, and that site only have that league. It's sad, man. It will be a great test. Jason, a few players is playing wait and see with us because they are still waiting for England and the US. I won't call names. I personally don't like it. Tomorrow we're doing a show on that. Yeah, look, you can't. You're going to pull your hair out, Jeremy Lee, if you have any left, because it don't worth to stress over them thing, brother. Them decision, and it's gonna happen in their time. Nothing we can do. No amount of pressure. No amount of nothing. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. All we can do is let them know, say, yo, there, you know, we are here, and try convince them in the meantime why there's no need to even wait for this decision. This is why you should do it. This is the vision we have. This is how I see you in the vision. You want to be a part of this? Forward. Make history. Become a legend. Yo, we're yearning to have legends in football again, you know. In a time to talk about the same brother them we take we go World Cup 50 years ago. Not tired to talk about them, but like want some more people can talk about now than say, yeah, they took us to the World Cup too. Like it's been so long. You know what I mean? Hear anything about Greenwood? Coach refused to coach the team after they lost. Yeah, I saw it. The man go to training and say, yo, say I'm not go training today. And the player them say, all right, if you not train with them, we not train. Nobody else can train with. We not train either. So the two side them just never train. The coach never train the player them, and the player, because the coach tell them say him not train them, the player them say, all right, we not train. Yeah, man, Mexican are ramp, man. Man, them get the coach straight. Mad thing, Jamra. Two side them just stalemate, you know. So yeah, look, I know it mad enough people, but a band flaws, I'm if you just jump in a right back spot, you know. I swear. Because even though I think he might put Chantel over there because she been with the team and just play Kanye center back with Swaby, with Allison. Me not like Chantel I play right back, brother, or left back, so don't do it, please. Alright, I forgot to change the title from Predicted 11 to My 11, yeah, man. I don't want to put nothing on this paper when me never want to see. All right, so Swaby, Banflaza back in the team, back on the field. Then now left back. I skip right over Den, you know, we're not putting Den in defense. This is the one that's tricky as well because I'm ruling out Den. So the defenders left that I think could potentially play over there. McPherson, Cardosa, and that's really it, to be honest. I mean, I know Simmons and Cameron are the makeshift fullbacks there, but I wouldn't put neither of them on them weaker foot. It's almost like Banflaza might have to play right back. But no, I'm going to put the pressure upon Naya then. I think she's athletic enough to play. And I think, you know, the modern day coach, they tend to do a system where maybe one of these fullbacks have a little more freedom. I think that would probably be Banflaza. She can get up into the attack, play some good crosses in, even take some shots as well. I remember she have a decent strike from range. So when that happens and she's pushed up, I think naturally these girls in the back line that are left can kind of form one of these in the interim, right? And of course, you know, we'll want to have that protection from the midfielders when that happens as well. But I think the back four can be fine just like this. Cardoza, I think she continues to impress the coach, so why not give her a run? Yeah, I mean, look, for me, it's either her. I used to have a lot of respect for that coach, but I started you're talking about De Zerbi. Where's a Cardoza? Yeah, I know. Look, man, I think the experiences of the Brazil, you know, I don't remember if she got game in France game. I don't think so. But I know she played against Brazil. She played the other games that we played recently as well. So it is baptism by fire, but hey, man, this is the people man picking up. So there's no, I mean, look, the safe choice is probably to just put Den there, because that's what we used to. But I'm telling you, man, all right, this is an ideal 11 for me. Maybe not what the coach is going to do predicted wise. So maybe I should change the title of the video after this to my 11. Yeah. All right. So defensive midfield now. I think this is where I want to see. I think he's going to play a 4-2-3-1. So I think because that's the case, it will probably be something like this. These two players central, Samson and Jade. Right, as that protection. I think Jade will have a little more freedom in the system. And it can easily turn into like a 4-3-3 with 2 8s. But I think for argument's sake, how it's going to start out is probably something like this. Kind of that double pivot system. And as I said, Bailey will probably have a little more freedom. Then now the three behind the striker. All right, so look, I've picked the base. I've picked the base of the team how I would want it, right? What do you guys think now about I'm going to let the comment section pick the attackers because we have so many players to choose from. So I'll call it the Jason Gooner TV fans 11 or front four. So pick the front four people. I left the front four for Uno. I don't want to go by position, or I don't want to just tell me the four where I'm going to play. You rather put Jody in defense? No, sir. Don't want her too far from 6. For real. Yeah, it will be. It's gonna be baptism by fire for Cardoza though, honestly. But hey, she have to learn somehow, some way. All right, so people, you guys need to see the choices again. All right, so look, we have 4 slots. We have a center attacking midfield, left midfield, right midfield, center forward, or left attacking mid, or left wing, right wing, whatever you want to call it. But there are 4 spots left. You see the players there. Rashaya Walker probably won't make the starting 11, so we can probably skip over her. We have Paige Bailey Gale. We have Kayla McKenna. We have Shaniel Buckley. We have Tiffany Cameron, Jody Brown, Rihanna Blades, Adam Alokin, Trudy Carter, Kiki Van Zanten. Those are all the players pretty much left, as well as Den and Cameron Simmons. Those are pretty much the players. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 12 players for 4 slots, you know. So let's try to eliminate some. So Walker, she not gonna start, I don't think. Shaniel Buckley, she not gonna start, I don't think. I don't think Rihanna Blades would start, but I mean, this is, a few more camps in the system now. So does he have any more trust in her at this point? I don't know. Maybe. For whatever reason, Adam Malaikan hasn't really gotten the opportunities under this manager that I thought she would have gotten, especially when I look back at like the Peru and even the South America window as well. Thought she would get a lot more game time than she got. So yeah, he keeps calling her though. So let's see. The coach I gonna start Brown, Blackwood on the wings, Cameron striker. Don't know who to put for my number 10. I had one said Trudy, Jody, Den, and McKenna. So I had one of it like this. Probably Trudy central. I think. Maybe I'm wrong there. I don't know how you want it. Jody. Den. And what you say? Kayla up front. Because I know Martin did have camera up front. Alright, so that is how I'm going with it. Alright, so that I think was I had one front 4. And I had one. So the reason for this is they want goals. Alright, so that is the 4 that I had one believe will get us some goals. Alright, so let me do this. So I had one. That's your front 4. And Martin, you can do the same. Now that I kind of go through a 11. My bad, people. Just dash for everything, star. Let me get the board back on screen. Please do tap up that like button, people. Please tap that like button. Don't forget that part. Please do tap the like button. All right, so that's basically what I thought would be a good defensive setup for us to start the game, mixed with I had one's attacking choices. So I let the people and pick the front 4. So that's I had one's Carter, Jody, Den, and Kayla McKenna. So what you guys think about that one? I don't mind that one. I don't mind that one at all. I don't know if that's what he'll go with, but I don't hate that. I don't hate that. I want to say he might go for more of a working player on one of the flanks. I mean, Blackwood puts in her work. Jody's the one I worry about with the tracking back. And with Banflaws being the one who I'd give a little more license to attack to. Maybe I'd want something a little more solid in terms of work rate over there. So that would kind of maybe give me the nod towards Tiffany. But to be fair, I don't know what the man going to do because he have a lot of options, in these attacking areas, and everybody can't play. So a lot of people gonna get left out. But let's see what Martin won't look like. What him say him don't know who to put a 10. Him just say Brown, Blackwood, and Cameron, not McKenna, and I'm not sure who to put in the 10. Yeah, but I'm gonna show you what the coach is going to do. Cause I'm gonna probably go with the experience, man. So I'm gonna do this. Blackwood there. Will he just drop Van Flaza back in the starting lineup like that after she was a replacement? I don't think so, man. And it could be that him see Van Flaza as a midfielder too. You never know. But I think this is what the coach going to actually do. All right, this is what I think he's going to do. This is the predicted. I'm gonna go with the experienced player them. I'm gonna push Swaby to a fullback. And to me, this would be the more sensible swap. Because I think Allison more comfortable, as a right back. Because she actually played in her club career, for certain teams. But I think the coach will do this because that's what we've seen him do before. I think he must like the leadership of Allison in the middle. Even though I think Chantel have that same kind of quality still in terms of organizing and stuff. Bailey, Sampson. I think that is probably going to be his double pivot like that. Like I said, he may see a different role for Van Flaza. I mean, she came in as basically the replacement, you might say, for Drew Spence. So, perhaps we might see her in a similar type of midfieldish role, but we never know. But yeah, I think the coach is going to actually start this team right here, how I have it on the screen. I don't know if Trudy will start, to be honest. I think he's going to start Tiff. And then this is the spot where I'm kind of struggling to see what I'm going to really do. Because he might play Trudy in the 10, He just might play Trudy in the 10. Cameron is there as well. But I don't know if him see her in that central behind the striker role. I think he's going to start Kayla. I mean, for me, it's between these two in this role central. He's played Rihanna wide. He's played Sade in these areas before. But yeah, could it be Trudy Carter that can play? I wonder if I had one right. Yeah, I could see. All right, so if I'm being honest, people, this is what I predict the coach to pick right there. So I think he will like the idea of giving Swaby a more, thoughtful. And another reason is it can easily, when we're defending, you tell Chantel to get a little narrower. You have that cover centrally, and it can become this. If it morph into this, Trudy, you just shade out wide left, and the system can change. So I like the versatility if we go with something like this with the players. So a lot of times, people, when we have picked Jamaica teams, boys and girls, everybody want goals, but balance, people. So if you have balance, we have to pick somebody like Tiffany, where we know where I'll get that type of strength from. As I said, people, this is not my 11. So don't look on this and say, look on the team Jason Gooner pick. This is my predicted 11. I think he's gonna go with experience on the back line. That's probably his most experienced back line he can pick. I don't agree with the personnel, but hey, that's what I think he's gonna go with. The double pivot in the 4-2-3-1. I think he's gonna go for Samson and Bailey in there. And then behind the striker, he's gonna go with Trudy, Jody Brown, Tiffany Cameron, and then Kayla McKenna up front. That's what I think the manager is going to do. Honestly, that's the way I see him probably going in this one. So that's nice, people. That is the Jamaica Reggae Girlz predicted 11. Remember, not mine, not mine. That's what I'm predicting the coach to do. All right. Let's go now to Mexico. And Mexico have a nice thing here where on this site where you can actually see the players and pick the team. I will transfer it over to the other thing, but let me show you guys what I'm talking about real quick. People, remember, please do smash that like button. We're giving you the content in the wee hours of the morning now, almost. Yeah. And this is going to be your guide to, watching the football tomorrow with a little bit more knowledge of what you're looking at. All right. So, yeah, man, we're there for drop some knowledge on us. So, this is what I think the coach will go with his preferred formation, which is a 4-2-3-1. I think Stephanie Barreras will be the goalkeeper. You see her in the goal there. Then we move to the defenders now. They're missing Greta, big player for them. Kenty Robles as well. Surprisingly, nowhere to be found. Kenty, you see where she's been playing. Dual national, but did decide to represent Mexico. Currently plays her trade at Pachuca. Don't really know what her situation is. She just played on the 25th of May, 90 minutes. So I'm not really sure how this girl never met this roster, to be honest. Must be something going on that I missed. But yeah, Kenty Robles was not called up for this window. Again, I don't really understand it, but somehow that's what's going on with Kenty Robles missing from this team. And I'm not upset, people. She are one of the biggest ball of them. So yeah, no Kenty Robles. That's okay with me. So for me, the right back berth is gonna come down to Reina Reyes and Luna. And I think not Reina. The right back is probably it's gonna be between Luna and let me look at the list one more time. Luna and is it Karina? Let me see which player. So Mexico. Look at their squad by position. Yeah, so Reina Reyes. She's a dual national, so you see Mexico and USA fighting over players in every gender. Reina Reyes spent her entire youth development playing for the USA at the youth level as well. But yeah, in her international career, she has made the jump, playing for the Portland Thorns now for quite a few years, straight out of the Alabama Crimson Tide program. And yeah, she has made that jump to play for Mexico. She did represent of late in that Pinatar Cup, which was the most recent window there in the end of February. And yeah, she, is a very good player. As I said, she represented the USA at two U17 World Cups, once in 2016 and then again in 2018. Amazingly, And as I said, in her senior development, she has decided to move on and go to play for Mexico at the international level. Interesting choice there by her. She is a left back by trade, and I think she will be the one more than likely to get the start in this one. So let's just go ahead and put Reina Reyes in at left back. So we got Reina Reyes there. Now let's go back to the right back options. So no Robles in the squad. Where the rest of the players there? So I don't have the player. So we can search them. That's the nice thing about this little thing here that we're working with. All right, so it will be Karen Luna, more than likely, from Club America. She actually was in the starting lineup when so I don't have the player. So I don't have Luna in the system. Might have to stop work with this, people. And go back to Old Faithful, car. So some could have just add in the people, but it's like if them wasn't in them last squad, it don't work. Not to worry, people. The match tomorrow, I know JFF Live will have it, so if you have a membership, you're good there. And then other than that, I'll be just looking to see if I can find it somewhere under the Mexican Federation stuff, because I know the last time we played against Peru, for those who didn't have the ways and means to get the membership, that was an alternative for them. It was obviously Spanish commentary, but it was better than nothing. Blackwood is near the wrong box. I know. I'm just telling you, it's what I think the coach going to do. All right, based on the personnel with me see, I just feel like the coach are going to do that. All right, so let's get the Mexican team out there. So as I said, Barreras in goal. I think Reina going to play left back. All right, now the center back's going to be interesting because I think they have they don't have Greta, who a lot of time does play on the back line for them. She's out of this window. So I'm interested to see, I think the team that they used when they faced Canada in their last round of games, I think would have been the strongest team that they had. And in that game, they went for Anya Mejia at left back. And the center backs were Greta, who's not there, and Kimberly Rodriguez, who is in the team this go around. The likes of Carol Bernal could be on the center back line. Anya Mejia, another one that gets starts, but typically Anya Mejia is a left back. So I don't think she'll be there. Like I said before, I think Luna will play right back. She'll probably wear number 2, actually. I don't know why I have these two players mixed around like this. Sorry, people. I don't like when these little details aren't what I think they're going to be. And I could be wrong, but for now, that's what I think will happen with the numbers. So the center back, as I said, I think Kimberly Rodriguez more than likely will be one of the players that start. Yeah, I think Kimberly will start. So where is she? So here's Kimberly. I think she will start there. And then our center back partner now could be Caroline. It could also be Antonia. All right, let me see, people. Let me see. I was checking out one more thing. Curious to see something. I'm gonna go with Bernal. That's not the captain, Bernal. That's the other one. Here's the midfielder captain. I think she'll be crucial in that midfield as usual. Then the other midfielder that I think will be there with her. And the last window they were actually without Bernal, which I think was a big miss for them. And I'm talking about the midfield Bernal. Let me see something as well in this game here. And then I think Nicole will play in here. It's probably actually gonna be Delgado and Nicole. And then I think Alice will play. Big baller over here. I think Delgadillo will play. And then up front, it's gonna be interesting, but I think my money is on either Saldivar or Birkenroad. Casares could get the run as well, to be honest. So it's really those three that I would say, but I'm gonna give the slight edge to actually Saldivar to start up front. That's how I think it's gonna look for both teams once we start out. Actually, I don't know if Caroline will start at defense, I don't think that will happen. So let me take her out. How much goal Canada got in another game, man? Okay, there's two. So you say more. I try to find something else, people. Hold on. I wanna try to get this right. And last time I do this, people might forgive my ratings because I'm pick the entire other team perfect. It was harder with Mexico though, because they have more options. But we try. People, please do smash the like button. Don't forget that part. Please and thanks. So by the game them now. I'm going for this now. So the match report there. Bro. Yeah, so I could say the Rodriguez them. No greater. Alright, so that is the two sides, people. Jamaica, Mexico should be good for me. The Mexican team have to pay special attention. No, what am I doing? One of them two you're not gonna play. Alright, I take off Perez. Bernal have to play. Capo. This Bernal have to play, not the other one. Alright, so Mexico, what I've noticed with them, a lot of implementation of the Spanish system. So a lot of inversion, variation with the two fullbacks. A lot of this as well. Once they move in possession, the center backs will split extremely wide. Bernal becomes the middle, and they basically turn into some kind of almost 3-3-3-1 in possession. And this player have license to take up any position anywhere from the inside left channel all the way to wide. And same goes for the one on the right. And they keep that solidity by having one of their midfielders really disciplined and the other one literally drops back to form a 3. And their captain, Bernal, who could be the captain tomorrow, she is definitely quite adept at that. It's actually very similar to how Edson Alvarez plays for the men's team. That's literally what you see Bernal doing for the women's team. So, as I said, there is some familiarity and continuity from even the men's to the women's team with Mexico. The one thing I will say, with the likes of these players that they have attacking, Ovalle, Saldivar, Delgadillo, they all can have running power as well, speed in behind as well. So the variation that I see Mexico playing with now is what sets them apart from when we used to play them before in CONCACAF and literally be able to just outpower them, all of these things. So for those reasons, I think some things are going to be crucial tomorrow. The first thing, when Mexico are building out from the back, people, and they happen to basically adjust what their starting formation would have been, it's going to be crucial that Jamaica don't get into a sucked-in situation like this where these first level of pressers aren't totally certain what their assignments are. What I mean by that is the minute that Bernal, let's say, receives the ball here, let me get a ball, people. Let me get a ball. All right, so the minute that Bernal get the ball, let's say here in our own box, these players split wide. You know, one of these wing backs are holding the width. Luna has come here to make another passing angle. Now McKenna, when she's making her decision, because you have to think Jody would be here, Carter would have been on one of these two players based on proximity. Let's just say she's here. So McKenna now, who is the first line of pressure? Cameron is pushed up. You know, Samson, I think, will be a little bit less adventurous. And, you know, let's say we're in some kind of shape like this, defending from them playing out. You know, something like this, right? I think it's going to be crucial that the team kind of stays somewhat together in the pressure, because one thing that all Mexican teams do when they're playing out, they know how to basically just make this player give up, literally. So the minute they go here, she closes down there, the pass comes out here. You know, you think you have it closed down, but they have created an overload because Soto has made another angle. So Carter is blocking this pass, but then that pass through the lane ends up happening. So what I mean by making sure we go together, Bailey has to know that she has to. So if we're going all in, we're going all in. I think we can cause some problems with them if we keep the discipline and the shape when we press them. But it's either all or nothing. Because if we're not going to do it in this manner, they are going to be able to find those little extra spaces to be able to play the ball out past the pressure, right? So it's going to be crucial that McKenna, when she decides to be somebody that wants to put this first line of pressure, it has to be synchronized between these front four, especially. And to be totally honest, the way how Mexico does such a good job of filling in extra passing lanes to play out, it's going to have to be a job for Bailey to push forward and even Sampson at times. And they're going to have to trust that the likes of Plummer, the Swaby sisters, hopefully not Blackwood, but maybe Blackwood, can do the business against, 4v2s, 4v3s, maybe, hopefully not, but 4v2s, hopefully 3v1s, when Mexico do happen to, because they are a team that will just provide options for the person on the ball. It's not so much about keeping a shape when they're playing out. It's just trying to find where you're out of shape and playing the ball there. And they have the discipline to go back to Barrera 75 times and reassess where their players need to be. So press synchronization, key, crucial. A lot of times when we play Central American teams as Jamaica, we literally, by the time we get the ball, are tired because we don't press synchronized enough, and they have the patience to pass and pass and pass and pass you to death. Now, the next part of this is actually goes hand in hand with the pressing, because I've said it before, a few times before on the program. This version of Mexico, I think, has been CONCACAFized, if that's a word, meaning they're a little more direct. They have a second gear that they go to. I think we've seen it a bit in the application of the men's team as well of late. But I think the women's team has taken that on even more. And I think it has a lot to do with some of the weapons that they have in the counter-attack, the likes of Delgadillo, the likes of Ovalle. Ovalle especially, she can be a one-person counter-attack by herself. I don't know if you saw, but that goal that I think Jeremy Lee, or that game Jeremy Lee referenced when they did beat the USA, she had a brilliant goal, went down the right-hand side, cutting. It was kind of a mistake by the defender, to be fair, but she had a lot of work left to do, and boy, did she do it nicely, chipping the keeper from just outside the box who had come out trying to win the ball. But yeah, Ovalle, whoever plays left back in this game, definitely going to have to be some shading by the midfielder closer. The last thing I want to happen is Plummer being sucked out too much in terms of, whatever 1v1 situation Ovalle might have with this person. I really would prefer if the help came from wide and from the closest midfielder centrally. And of course, the umbrella has to shift. So it's going to be key that whoever he picks in the spot behind the striker is willing to put in the hard yards and get into these areas when the midfielder, who I think is going to be the best tactic to slow down Ovalle, does shade into that area. This player playing in behind the striker has got to shift. So, look, it's going to be a lot of work required in the system. That's why, even though this is what I predicted, I may have gone for some slightly different options. People might not have loved it because I wouldn't go for some glamour picks maybe. But I think that we're going to have to tactically be sound if we want to get the result in this game. And you saw, based on this FIFA window, us at 40 right now, Mexico on 29. Anytime you can have that bigger difference in standings and get the winning result, it's going to do well for those CONCACAF rankings numbers. So to me, that's a couple of things that I wanted to key on. The press needs to be synchronized if we're going to employ a press, because they will tire you out to death spreading the pitch, providing too many options for the amount of people you have in your press, and they play out easily. Second thing, be wary of the directness of this Mexico team. Every now and again, Bernal has the ability to spray that diagonal either side, and they have the speed, they have the pace, they have the trickery to cause problems if they can get you isolated. So those are the two things. Even though we're going to be watching for them to go direct, I think putting a decent press that's organized on them and speeding them up a bit might be a good tactic. I think they're a rhythm team when you talk about their possession and how they get into the football match in the way that they want to. Don't make it easy for them. It's going to require a lot of hard yards, but look, we have players. The coach has 2 matches, so just run out everything in the match you're called upon, because with this size squad, I would be surprised if we don't see a lot of changes from both teams actually in the second game. I would think though that this first one in particular, they'd want to maybe lay down a gauntlet. But who knows? Maybe they're looking at it the other way, saying, Houston potentially could be the bigger crowd for the Mexican fans. Just geographically, I would think that they would have more fans going to the game in Houston than in Kansas City, but you never know. Don't want to downplay Mexican fans. They always travel. So it could be a very, very, very good turnout. But yeah, that to me is the keys for Jamaica in terms of stopping them. Now, I know people want to know, what do you think about what Jamaica needs to do with the football tomorrow? Well, I think for me, they need to be able to implement much of what I've seen them trying to implement under this coach. They also have tried to employ a much more, I guess you would say, like modernized way of playing in terms of trying to build more out of the back, trying to get these centre backs split wide in the first part of the possession, using a central to kind of split that, which I think is what Samson would be used for in this situation. So yeah, I think some of the aspects that we're going to see from the Mexicans, we're going to see the Jamaicans try to pull off similar things. It's just a matter of that difference in time together and learning that gelling that system together is so different, vastly different. We're talking summer 2022, little after summer 2022 to now, with a manager who has the U20 World Cup title in his resume against Hubert Busby, with a lot of experience, don't get me wrong, but at this particular level, can't say he measures up to the experience of the other manager. And that's just the way it is. But that's why these games are crucial. Look, the World Cup qualifying cycle is right around the corner. So these are the type of games I think we need to be taking. For one, it is a CONCACAF opponent, so it's somebody that we could be running into in World Cup qualifying. And for two, I think they are just proof that if you can start your program early enough in a cycle, you might just reap the rewards even before you get to the cycle. So they're jumping in standing in FIFA. Some of the wins that they have been able to accumulate, some of the confidence they've been able to gain. We're gonna see how that really plays out. So I implore all of the people that watch the Reggae Girlz to give some time to watching this game tomorrow. For me, key players we need to watch out for and try to stop: Bernal number 6, Ovaya number 11. I think they are very crucial. I think also if we can just limit the influence in the game that Soto has, maybe it's a player that you could potentially out physical out of the game. I've seen that maybe that's a tactic to use against her. But obviously we're going to have to do that carefully, because obviously you can't just kick over people. So we have to watch out there. And then for the Reggae Girlz, as I said, I just want to see continued implementation of what the coach is trying to do. I've seen a conscious effort for us to be more forward thinking. It might leave us open and vulnerable on transitions from time to time, as I think we saw a lot in pieces of the South Africa game and even elements of the Peru game. And it was to be expected, knowing that the coach would take a few more chances in those games. But I would like to see him maybe be able to find a better balance. And I'm hopeful that since the opponent is Mexico, which probably he would have, had a bit more worry in what they would have to offer attacking wise, maybe we'll see a balance between what we saw with the France-Brazil performances and what we saw with the Peru-South Africa performances, which I thought could have been, a little less defensive maybe in the first couple of series games. I think in Brazil, he didn't really go as defensive as France, to be fair to him. And maybe the results, show the difference there in terms of the score lines. But yeah, I think for me, just a better balance between the two different types of ways I've seen him play. You know, the all-out defensive mode of the France game and the more attacking mode of, you know, the couple of games against South Africa and for large chunks of the Peru series as well. Finding that balance would be great. But again, I think a lot of the core principles that I see him trying to implement, I'm okay with. You know, as I said, just being a little less reliant on the direct plays. I don't think we should lose that because that's something that we can definitely use at the women's game still. I don't know if it's as useful in the men's game anymore, just because I think, you know, everybody is just super athletic at this point in the world in football. But I do think there's still a bit of a physical gap between, you know, those elite level athletes in women's sports and some that maybe just aren't quite that level. And so you still see those advantages play out physically a bit more in the women's game. I think it's getting less and less as the years go by, but there's still that little piece of it that's more of an element to me in the women's game than in the men's game that makes a big difference in the game, right? So stay true to our core values, which obviously when teams face us, they know, okay, we're going to get tested for pace. They're going to be physical. So let's not lose those core values that we know we have, but let's try to also have a plan B when that plan A brute force strategy ain't quite working. And I think the coach is trying to work on that. Can we have more plays where we see the ball popping from side to side, then breaking a line with a pass, again, building again, bringing the team forward, then breaking the line again, as opposed to everything being boom to boom and boom to boom and this person all the way down the flank. Yeah, let's remix it up. Let's vary the play. Let's have McKenna maybe drop into this channel and just get a ball on her feet, play it into Bailey, and then we can be out and around to the other side. You know, can we start to rotate this football a bit more as opposed to just acting like the ball is hot and want to blast it as far away from the goal? And I've seen, to be fair to the coach, him trying to implement that. Even here in some of the fixtures, you know, sad to say we can hear the coach is not that many fans, but yeah, you could hear him barking out instructions. Have patience, you know, trust your teammate. I hear him say that a lot. Trust your teammate. You know, sometimes you might see the player maybe under a little bit of pressure. The players about here, you know, and Samson is here and she won't play this ball to Tiffany because of this girl. No, play it, but play it on the side that's away from the defender, right? And then we keep and possess. And now you've pulled Delgadillo up into this play. You know, she presses the ball. Cameron can run off her. And now we can play out. Boom. And now Cameron's in a 1v1 with Reyes. And just the fact that you trusted Cameron to begin with on this play opened up all this space behind her when she laid off and Delgadillo does the normal thing a pressing player would do, which is follow the ball, pass, Delgadillo is out the game. And that's simply just from you trusting that initial pass to her with this girl on her back. So yeah, take a little more risk on the ball. I mean, not risk in front of your own goal, obviously within reason, but yeah, have a little more confidence that you can play. And I think the coach encourages that. And he understands, obviously, there's a time and place. So we don't need to be ridiculous with it now. We don't need to be playing 1-2s with Plummer and Swaby and Spencer, you know, under pressure. But yeah, we need to express ourselves and have the confidence to do so. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, people. So look, I have discussed this program. I mean, this match in somewhat detail. Let's just recap everything. So for me, the keys to victory for Jamaica, synchronize in the pressure. And it needs to be made the decision early, whether we're going to press, whether we're going to fall into some kind of a mid-block situation. We need to make those decisions early. I don't want to see the front four working alone. If we're going to make a concerted effort to press them, try to win the ball, put them under pressure, we need to take the risk and push the team up the pitch. No large gaps between the thirds, please. Next thing I think is key. Let's just key in on some of the key factors that Mexico uses, right? So Bernal, the number 6, who probably will be the captain if she starts, she usually splits the back line. They get real wide, and then the fullbacks will either invert or they will go and combine with their wingers in front of them. So they have a lot of different strategies in terms of where people are. And I think the rest of the players on the pitch really work off of what kind of play out setup they have. And that kind of dictates where they are on the pitch. So the good thing is, if Jamaica do a little tactical studies, maybe they'll get to figure out what those triggers are. When Bernal drops deep and split the center backs, how does that make the progression of the ball differ from when Bernal stays in the midfield third and just is a connector between the two lines? Because that's basically the two ways I see them use Bernal, and it's very similar to how Edson Alvarez plays midfield for them, almost identical. Then Ovaye, she's the key. Everything that goes on in an attacking sense, she has something to do with it, whether it's just a run off the ball, a one-touch pass, skill, drawing a foul. She's definitely going to be, I'm sure, when you guys watch this game, most of the Reggae Girlz fans are going to say, Jano Star, this number 11 girl is annoying to play against, man. She's a ball of energy. She never stops running. And yeah, I think she's going to cause a lot of issues if we don't, have some sort of a plan to try to curtail what she can bring to the table. Because trust me, she's a serious, serious, serious ball of people. Ovaye, the number 11. So those are the two key players, I think, and those are the couple of things that I want them to really try to figure out. What's the difference when Bernal goes into the back line and makes that 3, as opposed to when they have that traditional 4 and she stays in midfield, because I do think that's kind of a trigger that you can kind of see how they're going to build the ball up. So they need to go ahead and focus on those two different things. And Ovaye, just defend Ovaye well. So yeah, that to me is in a nutshell kind of what I think we need to be doing as far as Ovaye is in the Mexican League. She's in the Mexican League. She is at Tigres. She's at Tigres. I think she might have used to be teammates with Kanya, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think Kanya is there anymore. I think she gone to what named it to Istanbul. She's over in Europe. Yes, people, but yeah, man, big up to all the people that tuned in. I really, really, really fully enjoyed bringing you this content. I enjoyed doing the research for it as well, just to kind of learn the players a bit more and be able to bring you some worthwhile content to the table. Hopefully, people can spread the word that this program even happened. I know, yeah, exactly, with Denden, sorry. That's where she was before, no? But yeah, I as I said, it's a pleasure to bring you this content. Really, really enjoy doing the research for this, bringing it to you. From my perspective, obviously, if there's anything you think I left out as far as aspects of Mexico's game that I didn't tell you about, if you think there's anything I left out as far as what I've seen from Busby lately, or what you've seen, what you want to continue to see, yes, just leave those thoughts in the comment section. And of course, it will be an ongoing thing, because we're going to get to see them play tomorrow, so we can see, how much did I take too much of what we saw before and not factor in that he's going to be implementing things all the while. We'll get to find out all these things tomorrow. But again, surely if people watch this, they should be able to have a better grasp of what to expect when we face Mexico tomorrow and Tuesday. But I'm looking forward to them. I think they're going to be good challenges for the girls. As I said, it's friendlies, I know, and maybe people are saying, boy, the real match is coming up, I need to make sure. No, this is important too, man. All these FIFA windows are so important. It's a psychological one-up on a team that we could be facing for the World Cup on the line one day. So you definitely want to know where we stand with this team. It's a team that I think is a good barometer for us right now, because I'm sad to say, when I look at the style of play and the trajectory, Mexico is closer to Canada and USA than we are right now. And I don't know if that was definitive, 4 years ago, 2 years ago, even 3 years ago. I don't know that was a definitive thing. I think there was still an argument both ways which teams is closer to those upper echelon teams. And I think right now it's hard to argue that Mexico isn't closer, especially based on results, based on everything, you know. So look, let's try to get back in this conversation. And I think results is one thing, but I think being able to show that we have a different way that we can play as well, because I do think we have the technical ability and quality to play a bit more of a I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but I think we have enough pieces to play a bit more of an attractive brand of football, let's say. So let's see if that comes out at all. And I think we need to find that balance between attractiveness and pragmatism, though, because we have to be realistic. I mean, we are number 40 in the entire world, right? The team we're facing is a bit above us. We know rankings don't play the matches, but there's a reason for that. It's results. It's who they've faced and who they've beaten compared to who we have. So we can't lie to ourselves, right, people? It's going to be a, I guess I can say that. It's going to be a dog fight, and we are here for it, people. So times go as follows: 5:30 if you're in the Eastern Daylight Time like myself, 4:30 if you're in Jamaica. If you're in the European side of the world, I want to say it's like anywhere between 10:30 and 11:30 at night. Outlets, I know for sure, one that can't miss, JFF Live, hit the join button. I believe it's $9.99 a month. That will give you access to the game tomorrow, according to what I know. Otherwise, I'm not sure where you can find the game. If you're like me and you find games all the time, you probably don't need my advice. Just use your regular channels. If it's an full international game, it will be on some networks. So I will be able to find it, I'm sure, tomorrow somewhere. If you have any issues, people, I won't be live or anything, but I'm pretty sure that you can check out IMAXi Football tomorrow. JD should be streaming the game, and he usually offers a lot of advice as far as where to find the game. So don't look out for me tomorrow, people. This was kind of my venture into the game before the game. I won't be at home in the studio tomorrow, so I won't be able to go live, which is sad. But I do plan on forwarding tomorrow night and trying to see on the tactical board how close we were to picking the teams, what we thought we'd see in the games, and just try to break it down with one eye to the Tuesday game as well, where we'll discuss what we think we can change, if we need to change anything going into that game. So yeah, man, looking forward to a nice weekend of some Reggae Girlz action. Remember, if you're a fan of Jason Gooner TV, you know that we also cover the EPL pretty thoroughly as well. We have the review show for this week's fixture of matches on Monday night, so that will be prior to the Tuesday follow-up fixture. That game potentially could be late enough at night to where I will be able to do that live stream. So I don't want to say for sure, but hopefully, people, I'm hopeful that I will be able to bring you the content. There's no point doing all this research and not even do one of the damn game them. So Tuesday night, people, I'm going to make it a point of duty. We're going to get that live watch along going right here, so you guys can tune in and we can have the conversation in real time. All right, people. So big up, big up, big up, big up, big up, and thanks so much for all the support. I had one. Big praise to you. Such a big support of the Reggae Girlz. Have a lot of knowledge about it. They, if I ever have a say, you will be doing something involving this women's team in terms of background research, statistical data. Yes, I'm hiring you. You have a job when I get the job. All right. So big up yourself. Big up everybody else in the building as well. But I had to show special respect to IAD1 because I know the work that's put in by this specific subscriber. And I just love the fact that somebody else is as passionate and follow it, as closely as I would, you know what I mean? And from what I see, just doing it for the love, you know what I'm saying? So that is excellent. But yeah, man, respect football one. We have to try bring the analysis at some point, We can't, no comment on what's been going on YouTube, but I haven't seen enough Reggae Girlz content. But girls, we are here. We're breaking it down just like we would the men, because football is football and we can always break it down. So big up, good luck in your 2 matches as well. And yeah, we'll be here to break it all down when it's all said and done, and see if we have made improvements, if we need to improve more, or what is going on. So yes, people, thanks again for tuning in and supporting Conrad. You're late to class, big boss. But if you want to learn about the Jamaica-Mexico game and what we're going to see and the players, you just missed a good show. It's about 2 hours. Put it on 1.5 speed. Listen, learn, get your education. Yeah, man. Big up on yourself. Thanks so much again for the support. I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And you don't know people. I hate that. Big up. And remember, wish good luck to my daughter tomorrow. She playing a league match in the morning. Then she have a friendly for playing in the afternoon. So real soccer dad, real football family tomorrow. So we have football going everywhere. Arsenal morning, Julie match, Julie second match, Reggae Girlz. Yeah, man, football. It's a great thing. But anyway, people, big up on yourself. Thanks again. One more time. I'm Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. Until next time, people, have a blessed